Hello everybody, and welcome back to my Skyrim video. As you remember, if you watched the last video, I am now going to start the main Dragon Quest. Partly because I've added a couple of mods which will make dragons a hell of a lot more of a challenge in the game. They were far too easy in the vanilla Skyrim, and the quest line was, how shall we say it, not exactly the best. So let's have a look. Mod configuration. We've got deadly dragons installed. So I am going to tweak it a little bit. I'm not going to go too much. I can make them less flying if you wanted to. You can set how often you want them to sort of attack you. I'm going to go for 60 hours. Anywhere plus or minus 12 hours of that. Miscellaneous. Important NPCs are essential. I'm definitely ticking that. Change the weight here, so I'm going to make them a little bit lighter, still keeping them quite heavy, but making them a little bit lighter because, as you know, we tend to pick up a lot of dragon bones and dragon scales. Was there anything else I've added? Nothing that appeared on the mod configuration menu. So basically what we are going to do, we're going to go into Bleakfalls Barrow. Let me see, I've registered one new menu. Unread books glow. That's handy. I want to make sure I read all the books. Okay, I might want to just get off my horse. Right, so we're going to go into Bleakfalls Barrow. Been detected. Okay. Don't stand still and get shot with arrows when you're playing with Skyrim installed. Man, that killed. Sometimes I think my horse will follow me, that's the only issue I've got. I wonder why I keep getting that error. I wonder if it's because I've got the Sky UI mod installed with another mod that does. So there you go. There's another mod, briefly, that you may have just noticed there. I can equip multiple rings and necklaces now. I'm not just limited to one per character. And I can also oh crap. Wooden battle staff. Really? You tried to attack me with a stick. At least your mate had the sense to attack me with So yeah, as I was saying briefly, before we got carried away, you probably can't see because I'm a little Khajiit, but I now can equip rings on both hands as well. I'm not limited to just left hand, right hand. You go. There. Don't take another one, don't take another one! That was bad. Yep, that was the sound of me smacking myself in the forehead. Oh, because I've died again. Let's think about this, or at least try to think about it. I don't have any crossbow bolts though, do I? Oh wait, I have 61 steel bolts. Don't want my horse following me. That's the only issue. Okay, he's seen me. Whoa! Got it! Or her. We'll take that, won't we? We'll just do a quick save there as well. I don't normally do that. But I don't want to keep fighting these guys over and over again. War Chief Light Battle Crown. That's light armour. We won't take that. Is that all of them? Alright, let's go into Bleakfalls Barrow then. Or Bleakfalls Temple as it's called now. Oh crap me, it's dark. See. There we can. Cave Bear Claw Cloak of Resist Magic. So what else am I going to talk about today during this video? Well, I spent the weekend playing Elder Scrolls Online. I was part of the last beta. And obviously I can't say too much about the game because of the NDA. But I very much liked what I saw, and I liked what I played. definitely feels like an Elder Scrolls game. So for anyone who's been worrying, definitely feels like a proper, true Elder Scrolls game. I need to put on my power. Which allows me to see in the dark. I mean, definitely getting back to the ESO, certainly there's definitely MMO mechanics there that have definitely been brought in. For example, the crafting system is not like Skyrim's at all, or any of the Elder Scrolls games that I've played. With the exception of maybe, I don't know, because I haven't really got into Morrowind or Oblivion all that much. But I know things like the alchemy, it's more of a case of, you know, like Skyrim, you have to eat the ingredients to discover properties. That's still part of it. And then when it comes to actually crafting the recipes, it's just a case of throwing random stuff together and obviously seeing what comes out the other end. The only difference being you always have to have a ingredient in the form of some water, which affects basically the so yes, without, if you don't have a little vial of water, I'm afraid to say you can't create potions. Enchanting is a little bit different, again, from the Elder Scrolls games that we may have played, in that you don't discover enchants by disenchanting items that are enchanted. You actually discover enchants by collecting runes, and there's 3 different types of runes, which basically I will call square, triangle, circle, referring to their shape. And to create an enchant, you have to put a square item, a circle item, and a triangle item together, and again combining different runes of different shapes and different gives you different enchants, and you get different grades of the runes as well. So to make stronger enchants, you need to find stronger level runes, and again they're tiered like most MMO games. You have your normal whites, then your blues, your yellows, your purples, you know how all that works. And it's just a case of combine them all together. Get murdered here. mean, the big changes really are the craft, like the actual crafting of like weapons and armour and things like that. It's not just a blacksmithing perk now. Like your light armour is made, your leather armour sort of things, then and cloth armours, they're made at a like leather working clothing station. Like your mage robes and things like that. Your medium armours, your steel armours, etc. They're made at a blacksmith, as you would expect. Things like shields, bows, staffs are made at a wood crafting station, and you have to collect wood actually to make them. So you have to go and chop wood to make wooden items. You have to collect obviously ores to do your blacksmithing, and you need to collect hides and that sort of thing, animal carcasses, pelts to make like leather armour and cloth and stuff, which again, standard MMO fare. Now the only difference where it changes slightly from what you're probably familiar with in existing Skyrim games, if you've played a lot of Skyrim games, is the Okay, I'm guessing for how easy that was to defeat, that this dungeon is obviously scaled to be played quite early in the game. And I have now clearly levelled past it.
Help me! Help! Don't leave me for Kay's sake. You, over here. You did it. You killed it. Now cut me down before anything else shows up.
Yes, back to ESO and the smithing and stuff. Basically,
Yes, the claw. I know how it works.
you obviously need to get the raw materials. So you have the raw material, and then you need to obviously refine that material. So again, you pick up like hide scraps to make decent hides. You have to turn those into. So there's a stage before, like a refining, a bit like smelting ore in Skyrim, for example.
Don't leave me for help me out of here. It's coming loose. I can feel it.
And then you also need another item. So, again, you say you're trying to create some, I don't know, you want to make an iron sword. That's pretty much the standard. As I started out, I was a Nord character in the beta. So, as a Nord, my default knowledge, if you like, is iron. I know how to make iron weapons and armours and stuff. That's not a skill I have to learn. Like the rest of them. Like, if I want to make other types of armour, orc, elven, glass, redguard, Khajiit armour, Arconian armour, etc. You have to learn those. You have to discover those. You have to read skill books to try and learn those abilities to make armour for different races, different types of character. And to obviously make better armour, you have to invest skill points when you level up in your smithing trade. So, default out the box, I'm a Nord, I can make iron armour. And It took me a while to figure it out because there's no tutorials yet in the game, which I know a lot of people certainly were commenting about in the chat during the beta, that they didn't know how to do things. So basically what we did, what I found from playing around, was that to make, for example, an iron dagger, when you go into the crafting menu at a blacksmith bench, you need to select the item you want to make at the top, which is iron dagger, iron swords, hammers, maces, etc. So if you pick the one you want to make, next item down is obviously the material, the iron ingots. Now you can actually change how many iron ingots you use in a recipe. So, for example, if you want to make a higher level weapon that does more damage and has greater value, you increase the number of ingots you're putting into that recipe. Which obviously makes sense. If you have a lot of ingots, you've spent a lot of time mining and collecting. Unlike Skyrim, where iron is like the cheapest, nastiest, bog standard bloody weapon in the game that becomes pretty much useless after a certain point, pretty much once you've escaped from Helgen. In ESO, you can keep increasing the value of these things. So again, for people playing as Nords characters, iron armour is going to be pretty much their bread and butter. It's what they get their character traits in, and a lot of their passives. So again, you need to craft higher level iron armours, iron weapons. So you do that by increasing the number of ingots used in a recipe. Which again, for me in the beta, proved to be more useful for then selling the items to merchants to get more gold. Whenever you craft anything in Elder Scrolls Online, it costs you 1 gold. So there is a money fee. There is a fee for crafting. To craft any item costs you 1 gold, as well as the materials. So that's something to think about as well. You will spend gold crafting. You're going to be a blacksmith, or any kind of crafting profession. You want to make money in it, in the game. It will cost you money, is what I'm saying. Then, once you've checked your how many ingots you want to use, you have to come down to another little bar. And on that bar, you need to select another material, which is specific to each of the races within the game, and for their types of weapons and armours and stuff. So, for example, as a Nord, to craft anything, you need to have corundum. Is it corundum? I'm sure it's corundum. And you have to you use one of those per craft as well. Now, in the beta, the only place you can find that added ingredient is from a merchant. It's from like the smithing merchant. So, for example, if this was Elder Scrolls Online, when I would go to the blacksmith station, which for example we'll say is the one in Whiterun, I would have to buy a material from War Maidens to be able to use in my recipe. And in the beta, that material costs 21 gold per item. So, to craft 5 items in the game, to craft 5 pieces of armour to get kit my character out, cost me just over 100 gold in material alone. And again, you have to factor that in. because that's basically affected the price of the item you're crafting, the material, the raw material that you have basically acquired. And basically what we have to think, again, you know, in the early levels of the beta, the items that I'm crafting are pretty much only going to be for your own use. You know, you're going to be using them. I guess that makes sense, because I was leveling up quite quickly. By the time the beta finished, I got to like level 8. And, you know, bearing in mind, I was exploring. I was actually trying to play the game, learn the mechanics. I know a lot of people charging through, oh, how do we get to Cyril? How do we PvP? And all that rubbish. Wasn't interested in that. I wanted to play it like a proper Elder Scrolls game. So, you know, every time I got to a location, I travelled the map, explored, found all the locations. You know, found all the locations. Discovered all the side quests. And basically went through playing the game. The main quest line, much like I have done in this save on this game here, kind of ignored. Because again, the game is a beta. You know, it's closed now. Everything we did over the last 3 days has effectively been wiped. When the game launches in April, we will have to start again. So I wasn't keen on making a great deal of progress through the main story lines. I didn't want to really spoil too much about the main storyline, if you like, for myself, because again, I want to experience it when it's out. So I did a lot of the side quests, just basically did a lot of exploring. I spent quite a lot of my time looking at, obviously, the crafting system. So, again, for most things, weapons, armours, staffs, wands, that sort of thing, you're going to need this extra material. And again, you have to buy different materials to craft the other races, weapons, armours and ammos. So, yeah, it's quite interesting. Also like the fact that there was banks to store everything in. Guild banks, you know, the sort. God, he did not see me. I can't remember if there's a specific reason why I come down here. I know there's dead skeevers. I'm going to take them purely because I can break them down. No, this does not look like one of those areas where I can find a world wall. I know there's some dungeons later in the game where you need to explore a bit to find word walls and stuff. Okay, that's the way I came. This is the way I am going. Draugr. My soul gems, baby. So yes, following my experience with the beta, day one purchase, most definitely. Definitely. I'll be there April 4th. I'll be in line. I mean, again, there are certain things about the game that are very familiar to older Elder Scrolls games. For example, if you want to, let's say, like this, like now. Take example now, how I'm playing this right now. I'm dual wielding two one-handed weapons. So basically, in Skyrim, if I suddenly wanted to use a spell, I wanted to cast a spell on this guy, I would have to go and obviously unequip these weapons and equip my spells, which obviously is quite interrupting in combat to do that. What I can do, certainly in ESO, the Elder Scrolls Online, it's a lot more like Oblivion, where I could be running around with my weapons in my hands, attacking with left and right mouse buttons, or I'm assuming left trigger, right trigger on the controllers. And then by pressing number keys or your hotbar, you can unleash your powers, spells, magic. So yes, I mean, although my Nord character, the type of character I was playing, wasn't very spelly, I suppose you should say, didn't have many spells, not like the flames and sparks and that we're familiar with. Bear, butterfly, owl. Yeah, I mean, I was playing as a Dragon Knight. So one of my favourite powers, when going into combat, was a move which I know a lot of people who have played the beta and who've seen it running in action, have seen the videos at like E3 and stuff like that, Gamescom and PAX. It's a move very similar to the, how do we say it? Scorpion from Mortal Kombat. You know, the "get over here," where you throw out like a chain, like a fire chain, and snare your enemy and pull him towards you. You know that move? It's quite cool to use in combat because A, it deals a lot of burn damage. Word War. Force, unrelenting full. Ooh. Easy. His arm's still flopping. And yeah, I mean, there's like a couple of special moves you learn with your weapons. Like there's one where it's like a puncture move for like sharp weapons. So if I had a dagger, I would do like a puncture move, which would do a lot of damage, and also open up the, if you like, enemy for the next move. As we know, is quite important when comboing and generating a lot of points. So there we are. Fix my horse. Oh, outside I've still got my night eye on. Let me turn it off. My horse. I've lost my horse. I'm gonna have to call my horse. Ah! There's my horse. We can ride to Whiterun. Cash in this quest. Oh, couple of spiders. He looks like a hunter. Got our stamina now. Oh, I've crashed the desktop! You are not kidding me! Guess you are kidding me.